Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Jaya Jaya Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jai Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Sita Ram, Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki Jai. So I hope you all have taken darshan. Oh, I think best to keep this very scared. So I hope the devotees, they haven't taken darshan yet. Huh? Okay, fine. Soon I hope you take darshan, and they are very, very beautiful deities. And we are very fortunate that Prabhu and Mataji have given us the opportunity to take darshan of them. And tomorrow they will also come to the center. So please come and join us tomorrow in the evening at 7:15. It's the actual day of the inauguration. And we will take darshan of Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji at the Gauranga Center. And we will hear His Holiness Radhanath Swami giving a special 15 minutes, 17 minutes video. He will speak about his experience at Ayodhya many years ago when he was there. It's a YouTube video. Some of you may have already seen it, but it's really worth sharing it with everyone. Just 15 to 17 minutes, but Maharaj in his traditional wisdom brings so many nice points that we should be looking at. And then we will just continue Ram Dhun, and we will sing, and everyone will have a chance to light lamps and offer it to their lordships here tomorrow. So don't miss this chance to come together. And of course after that there will be prasadam, so don't worry about that. So let us now hear a very nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam on Lord Ram. It is in 9:11:22 of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'll just read it, and then we can understand what is so important about it.
22 or 23?
Sorry, Prabhu, where is it? Oh, actually it's 23. Sorry. It's sent, right? Yeah. I couldn't read my own handwriting, so it's 23. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Purusho Ramacharitam Shravane Upadharayan Anrashamsya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhai Vimuchyate. Purusho Ramacharitam Shravane Upadharayan Anrishamsya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhai Vimuchyate. Purusho Ramacharitam Shravane Upadharayan Anrishamsya paro rajan
Anrishamsya paro rajan
karma bande vimuchyate. I'll read the synonyms, please repeat. Purushaha,
Purusha,
any person. Ramacharitam, the narration concerning the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra. Shravane, by oral reception. Upadharayan, simply by this process of hearing. Anrishamsya paraha, becomes completely free from envy. Rajan, O King Parikshit, karma bande, by the bondage of fruitive activities. Vimuchyate, one becomes liberated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat the translation. O King Parikshit, anyone who orally receives the narrations concerning the characteristics of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes will ultimately be freed from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. So short purport, please hear. Here in this material world, everyone is envious of someone else. Even in religious life, it is sometimes found that if one devotee is advanced in spiritual activities, other devotees are envious of him. Such envious devotees are not completely freed from the bondage of birth and death. As long as one is not completely freed from the cause of birth and death, one cannot enter the Sanatana Dharma or the eternal pastimes of the Lord. One becomes envious because of being influenced by the designations of the body. But the liberated devotee has nothing to do with the body, and therefore he is completely on the transcendental platform. A devotee is never envious of anyone, even his enemy, because the devotee knows that the Lord is his supreme protector. He thinks, what harm can the so-called enemy do? Thus, a devotee is confident about his protection. The Lord says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tham stataiva bhajamyaham. According to the proportion of one's surrender unto me, I respond accordingly. A devotee must therefore be completely free from envy, especially of other devotees. To envy other devotees is a great offense, a Vaishnava aparad. A devotee who constantly engages in hearing and chanting, Shravana Kirtana, is certainly freed from the disease of envy. And thus, he becomes eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. Jai Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So this verse is very important because it tells us that actually if we want to really be absorbed in the narration of the Lord's pastimes, the symptom of one who is absorbed in the pastimes of the Lord is that that person is free of envy. And it is also stated in the verse that what is very important is that we have to glorify Krishna through the process of oral reception. Here oral is not O-R-A-L, oral is A-U-R-A-L, right? So actually it is reception through the ear. And the more we are hearing the narrations of Lord Ram's pastimes, then the more we will become free of the disease of envy. This is a very important point. In Bhagavatam, I think it is in second canto, second chapter, 37th verse. There Shukadeva Goswami ends. It is the last verse in that chapter, and Shukadeva Goswami says very beautifully this point. Pibantiye Bhagavata Atmana Satam Kathamritam Shra Vanaputeshu Samritam Punanti Te Vishaya Vidushitashayam Vrajanti Tacha Ranasaroruhantikam. It's a beautiful verse. And the meaning is very nice. It is stated in Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami says, for those who drink through oral reception, which is fully the nectarian message of the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the beloved of the devotees, Satam, he is the beloved of the devotees. Those who drink this oral perception through hearing, what happens is they can purify the polluted aim of life, which is actually material enjoyment. So by nature, our propensity, because we are in this world and because we are conditioned, is that we have the propensity for sense enjoyment. Our senses just want to find a way to enjoy. There's nothing wrong with it, except that when we try to enjoy without Krishna, then the enjoyment becomes the source of bondage. Karma bandhe. It actually binds us to the world. But if we can enjoy our senses and mind through hearing about Krishna, just like we are doing now, hearing about Lord Ram and his pastimes, then this oral reception that we are receiving, this is an important word, to receive it, that oral reception that we receive becomes kathamritam. It becomes very sweet, very nectarian. We can actually taste the sweetness of it. We may all be squeezed in the house, but still, we are not uncomfortable in our mind and our hearts because we're hearing about Lord Ram. It may be a bit austere, but we can survive. But if we are doing some other sense of material enjoyment, we cannot withstand this austerity for too long. We can't. Which is why bars and pubs and all are meant to make you relax with your material senses. But when you come to temple and you perform activities, they are meant to regulate your senses. That's why a bit of austerity is fine. Squeeze is okay. Because we're hearing about Krishna. We don't feel it. When you go for yatra, so much austerity you have to do, right? You all know how much austere you have to be. But you don't feel it because you are hearing the nectarian message of Krishna. And it takes away the challenges that the mind and the senses give. So this verse in Bhagavatam is very important. We can go back to Krishna, but we must go back by drinking this oral reception. And that is why the word receive in this shloka today is very important. In today's shloka, the word that is really nicely used, anyone who orally receives the narrations. So it is not that we are forced to hear the narration. When we are sitting down to hear, there's a difference between hearing because we have to hear, as opposed to hearing by receiving. Receiving means our hearts are submissive. Our hearts are ready to hear. And in order to become submissive to hear about Krishna and Lord Ram, we must become free of envy. If we are envious in our heart, it is very hard to submissively receive the message of the Lord. If you're envious of someone, you never hear them, isn't it? Isn't it true? We all have had experience. If we are envious of someone, no matter what they say, we are always finding fault with them. They can never do anything right. Because the truth is, we are envious of them. So we cannot receive what they say, you see. But if we are not envious of them, whoever they may be, we can receive it because we are humble about it. So to be submissive to receive the oral reception means that we must have humility. But humility cannot be framed in the heart until envy leaves us. And envy cannot go until pride leaves us. When we are proud, then the capacity for envy is there. If you really believe you're not good at something, you'll never be envious of someone. Because you'll say, he's better than me, he's so talented, I'm not good at it, what's the problem? But if you think you're good at something, or you want to be better at something, and someone is better than you, that's when envy will come. That's when envy will come. So you see, pride actually comes before envy. And when you are envious and you cannot get what you want, then you become angry. From envy, you become angry. So pride is there, then envy comes, and the symptom of envy comes in your anger. Very often it's anger. It is not the anger that a parent may feel to the child. That is very often driven by care. Look, I want something good for you, please do this. It's for your own good. The parent is not envious of the child. But when we are peers, we are contemporaries, between devotee to devotee, Prabhupada writes in this purport, it's very easy if we are not careful to be envious of each other. Because someone may be doing nice service, and we are thinking, how come everyone is praising him and they're not praising me? I'm doing service also. So why no one is appreciating me? Sometimes in the name of saying Prabhu, I don't feel appreciated. If you look deep sometimes, the reason for that feeling is not because we are not being appreciated. It could actually be because we are envious. So we have to be very, very careful about this. And that's why this shloka is very important. And the secret to actually getting rid of envy is actually Cheto Dharpana Marjanam. The more we hear Krishna's names, the more we chant Lord Ram's names, Lord Krishna's names, like we did for 15 minutes just now, the more the envy will leave our hearts. Without separate endeavor, it will go. That's why Narada Muni could travel the world, right? In 1626 of Bhagavatam, Narada Muni tells Vyasadeva that I can travel the world everywhere and I can speak about Krishna. But while traveling and speaking and hearing about Krishna, I am never feeling envious. Why? Because I'm self-satisfied. Namani anantasya hataptapa patan guyani bhadrani kritani chasmaran gamparyatam stushtamana gataspraha kalam pratiksham vimadho vimatsaraha. 3 words in that shloka are very important. One, I believe, is gataspraha. Gataspraha means we are free from material desires. That is the word-to-word meaning of gataspraha. We are free from the material desires. When we take up Krishna consciousness and we are chanting, if we really want to bring Lord Ram into our hearts today, tomorrow, and for the rest of our lives, then we must chant very nicely. And we must read and study Ramayana very nicely and Bhagavatam very nicely. If we do that with an open heart, without any envy, then very automatically we will become free of material desires. Once you're free of material desires, then the next thing happens. Nirmatsaraha. Matsaraha means envy. Nirmatsaraha means to be free of envy. So Narada Muni said, I'm traveling all around the world. I'm seeing everyone. Yet I'm not envious. If you are just a worldwide traveler as you travel, when you travel, the chances of you looking at something and think, my God, this is so good, I'm very envious of it. We feel it that way. But Narada Muni is traveling. He's not feeling envious because he is free, gataspraha. He's free of material desires. And he has one more quality that's very important, vimado. Vimado means self-satisfied. We are free because we are self-satisfied. You cannot find satisfaction outside yourself because the mind will never give you that space of satisfaction. Until you become self-satisfied, santushtaha, it is not possible to become peaceful. You become very restless. Now the challenge of how peaceful you are is how long you can sit here without doing anything. Are we looking at our phones? Are we texting each other? That is a sign of our restlessness. That is a sign that our mind is not in control. That is a sign that we are not being able to focus. And that is a sign that our devotional service is being challenged. This is a very practical point Srila Prabhupada brought up. So to the extent that we are peaceful, to that extent, our senses don't run around. We are in control of our senses. Otherwise, our senses want to do something, even while we are supposed to keep quiet. That means we are not in control. We are slaves. We think we are in control, but we are slaves to our senses. This is a very important point. So that is why, if you want to hear about Krishna, then Prabhupada says in this purport, the best way is to hear without envy. And as devotees with each other, we must not find fault with each other. The symptom of envy is when you find fault, when you criticize. That is a great symptom of envy. And Prabhupada says here that when we are envious of devotees, we commit Vaishnava aparad. Prabhupada writes there. And Vaishnava aparad means that our devotional service and the stock of devotional service just goes down. Just goes down. Very difficult. It just goes down. And when it goes down, we will lose taste in spiritual activities and we'll go away. Remember in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramchandra Puri criticized so much Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He criticized the devotees. He kept a file on the devotees. Each devotee, he had something to say. He had nothing good to say about anyone. Eventually, because of his critical and envious nature, he left. He left the association of devotees. So this is a very important point, and we should remember that. And this envy sometimes is so subtle that we may not even see it. We may think in our heart, no, I really admire the person. I really admire the person. But we may be envious of the person. We may not be admiring them. We may smile, 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 smile. Prabhu, you're so good, so good, so good, so good. But in the heart, I can't take it, I can't take it, I can't take it. So it's very subtle, you see. We don't know how we feel. A good example of that actually is in Ramayana. There is one episode. We can take maybe 15-20 minutes to look at that episode of Ramayana. It happens actually in, I think, it is actually in Kishkanda Kanda. It is actually in the time when Lord Ram has already left. Sita Mata had already been kidnapped. Now she's been kidnapped by Ravana and she has gone. And Lord Ram and Lakshman now, they are in a state of great bereavement. Lord Ram is in great separation from Sita. And so they are moving around aimlessly, looking for someone who may know the whereabouts of Sita. And then when they went into the forest, as they were traveling in the forest, they came across a powerful demon known as Kabanda. This Kabanda demon was giving so much of harassment in the forest to the people. So Lord Ram and Lakshman fought him and defeated him. Just as he was being defeated, he came to his senses that Lord Ram was the supreme personality of Godhead. And in a moment of freeing himself of envy, he spoke something very nice. Kabanda told Lord Ram and Lakshman that if you want to find Sita from whom you are separated, please look for Sugriva. Sugriva is the powerful monkey king and he is in great need. But if you help him, he will definitely be a great ally to you. So Lord Ram then decided that he will look around for Sugriva. And so as they were moving around, meanwhile, they came very close to the Rishamukha hill, which is where Sugriva was staying. He was staying there with Hanumanji. And then he suddenly saw two beautiful, noble men walking. And he knew then that these must be Ram and Lakshman. So Sugriva was a bit hesitant because he didn't know if Rama and Lakshman were actually close friends with his brother, Bali. And Bali and Sugriva were not on good terms at that point of time. We'll speak about it later. So he asked Hanuman to go in disguise. Hanuman went as a Brahmana Mendikan. And then he introduced himself and said, "What brings you here?" And Lord Ram said, Lakshman said, "He is Lord Ram and I am Lakshman. And we are looking for Sugriva. If you know where he is, we have heard of his great heroics. And we heard that, by somehow allying with him, we could find Mother Sita." And then Hanuman felt in his heart when he saw Lord Ram and Lakshman that these two gentlemen are of such transcendental bearing that I must surely surrender myself to him. And so he assumed his real form and he said that I am the commander-in-chief for Sugriva, but he is an exiled prince and now he will need your help and then he can help you because he has a powerful Vanara, monkey army, and they will be able to help you. Then after that, Hanumanji actually brought both of them to see Sugriva. When Sugriva saw Lord Ram, they embraced each other as friends, Ramayana tells us. And Sugriva, Lord Ram sat him down and asked him, have you seen Mother Sita? And Sugriva said, I did not see her face to face, but I heard a lady flying in the air, caught by a demon, Rakshasa, whom I did not know also. And she was shouting, Rama, Rama. And now that you tell me that she is your wife and she was calling your name, I understand her to be Sita. And as she saw me and some of my other friends sitting on the rock, she threw down some jewelry. She threw her ankle bells and she threw down her top cloth. And she wanted to do that, I think, so that at the right time we could actually find it. You could be given it. So at that point of time, Lord Ram became very, very excited. And he said, show me what you have. And so he brought it out. And when Lord Ram saw the ankle bells, he became overwhelmed with grief at separation from Sita. When he saw the top cloth also, he became very sad. But he turned to Lakshman and asked him for confirmation. Is it true? Does the top cloth belong to Mother Sita? Lakshman had a very nice answer. Lakshman said, I have only seen Sita Mata's ankles. Beyond her ankles, Lord Ram, I have never seen her. So I cannot tell you if this is her cloth or not. But the ankle bells are hers. Because daily, I would offer obeisances at her lotus feet. And I can recognize the ankle bell. This is the chastity of Lakshman. And this is the way that Lakshman treated Mother Sita. That property which does not belong to us should be treated with chastity. That person or anything that does not belong to us should be treated with respect. And now the final point is, what belongs to us? Nothing belongs to us. Therefore, everything must be treated with this level of chastity. You see the point? This is the point of Ramayana. Nothing belongs to us. Lakshmana was so exemplary in the way he showed us this point. So Lord Ram confirmed it. And now he said, Sugriva, now I pledge to you my friendship. Tell me how I can help you and you will help me. Then Sugriva told Lord Ram that today, from today, your sorrow is my sorrow and your happiness is my happiness, and we will help each other. And so Sugriva now sat down, and Ram said, before I help you, right, to actually get rid of this problem with your brother Vali, tell me what is the background. I need some background information. And so Sugriva told the story of him and Vali. Vali, he said, was very powerful, much more powerful than Sugriva in terms of strength. And he was the crown king of Kishkinda. But Sugriva was a very loyal brother to him. And one day, all kinds of demons would come and fight Vali. But he would vanquish everyone. One day, Sugriva said, a powerful demon known as Mayavi. Mayavi's father was Mayadanava. This was his son. And he came to challenge Vali. And when he wanted to challenge Vali, he thought only Vali would come out. When Vali came out with Sugriva, he got scared. And he started running away. Vali and Sugriva chased him to a deep, dark cave. And there, the demon entered. Vali told Sugriva, don't come in, brother. But Sugriva loved his brother and said, no, I cannot let you go into the dark, deep cave. I'll go with you. But Vali said, no, I'm strong enough. I will handle him. You stay here and guard the entrance in case he comes through another way. Then you kill him. But no matter what happens, wait here. I am coming back. And so Sugriva waited for 1 year. And no sign of Vali. And he was becoming despaired. He was thinking that something happened to Vali. One day, he heard a curdling, blood-curdling kind of scream and moans from the cave. And he heard the sounds of many, many demons, but no sound of Vali. So he got very scared. He thought now that the demons had killed his brother somehow. And then he saw blood flowing out of the cave with foam. And he thought surely his brother had died. So in that mood of despair, he thought Kishkinda must be saved. So he took a big boulder and blocked the entrance of the cave. And he went back with the sad news that Vali had died. And then he was crowned king. And he became a righteous king. Until one day, a few days later, Vali walked into the kingdom. And Vali accused Sugriva and called all the courtiers and assemblymen and said, Sugriva is a traitor. He knew I was inside. He knew I had actually killed all the demons. That's why the sound of the demons were there. And the blood was not my blood, it was the blood of demons. He should have known that, but he chose not to know it. And he closed the boulder, and he's a traitor. And so he stripped him of all his possessions, stripped him of his clothes, only one dhoti he could wear. And he threw him out of the kingdom. And he said, whatever that belongs to you now belongs to me. And Sugriva had a chaste wife whom he was very attached to. Her name was Ruma. And Vali said, Ruma now belongs to me. When a man takes another as his wife when she is not his, when he takes another's possession when it doesn't belong to him, that man is in trouble spiritually. That woman is in trouble spiritually. Because it means, Prabhupada says, we are trying to lord it over material nature. It is the height of sense gratification, to take that which is beyond our quota. Very important. So what happened then was, Vali was thrown out. Sugriva was thrown out. And Vali told Sugriva, if I see you anywhere, be assured I will beat you to death. Now Sugriva became so scared of his brother, but Ruma was stuck with him, that in his heart, right, he became very angry. But he had to run. And he ran to this sage Matanga's ashram. Because, very interestingly, Vali would not set foot in that ashram. I'll tell you about it just shortly. So now, Sugriva said, Vali is now enjoying my wife and all other women. And he's intoxicated with pride. And all the armies are under him. If you help me restore myself as the king, then I will take over the kingdom and I will use it in your service, Lord Ram. And Lord Ram said something very nice. He said, the test of friendship is the attitude of our service. Very nice. The test of friendship between two people is how much we want to serve each other. That is real friendship, right? Not only you serve me, but I will also serve you. So Lord Ram said, whoever who has surrendered to me, I will give them protection. And because you have surrendered to me today, it is my duty to give you protection. So I will protect you from Vali. Now, Sugriva said, that's very good. But are you? He said something very important. He turned to Lakshman and Lord Ram and said, how do I know if Lord Ram can actually challenge Vali? Lakshman started laughing. Lakshman said, do you not know the power of my Lord Ram? He's very, very powerful. And then Sugriva said, okay, come with me. I will show you the carcass of a great, powerful demon who came in the form of a bull. That demon's name is Dundubi. Dundubi was very powerful as a demon and came in the form of a bull. And Vali fought with it, and in the height of the battle, right, he actually decimated the strength of Dundubi, and he whirled him around and round and down, and he threw him 4 miles away after killing him. Now, as he was throwing, imagine Dundubi is flying 4 miles in the sky, and some drops of blood from the body of that bull demon fell on sage Matanga's ashram. And that is actually considered very muchi, isn't it? You know, the drops from a dead animal dropping on a sage's ashram. He was very upset. He said, who is this nonsense creature who's throwing carcasses across the sky? And then he came to know that it was Vali. So he cursed him. If this monkey ever comes within any of the radius of this place, he would be dead. And so Vali, even though he was powerful, he was afraid of the power of the sage and the austerities. So he stayed away from there. So Sugriva said, if Lord Ram can kick this carcass, which is now a carcass, not full, as it's now dried up, it's just bones. If you can kick it, right, just 4 miles, I would be very happy. And the other thing that Vali was very powerful was, he could shoot arrows through trees. He could shoot one arrow through a very, very thick tree. And like that, he could shoot 7 consecutive arrows through 7 trees, one after the other. How much power he had. So Lord Ram heard it with amusement, and he went to the carcass and he kicked it, and the carcass flew 80 miles away. 80 miles away. Very, very far. And after that, Lord Ram took out the arrow. Because when he kicked it, Sugriva said, that's very powerful, Lord Ram, but it's very dried up, it's bones only. Maybe you should shoot the arrow and we'll see how you do. And Lord Ram smiled and he took the arrow. And he shot one arrow, and one arrow pierced 7 trees. After piercing all 7 trees, it went into the earth. It went through the bottom of the earth, and it went through to the bottom of the universe. And 1 hour later, it came back to the quiver of Lord Ram's back. Imagine the power of Lord Ram. When Sugriva saw that, he said, I have nothing to say. This is it. You are the person who's going to give me protection. Sometimes in devotional service also, we question the Lord's strength, isn't it? We think, really, can Krishna help me? Is he really so powerful? But when we read about the power of Lord Ram, we read about the power of Lord Krishna, lifting Golden Hill, for example, it gives us faith. We know then that only the Lord can actually protect us, and we need not fear anything. Death is going to come, but the Lord will protect our consciousness. That is more important. And so Lord Ram said, now you're satisfied? Let's not waste time. There's daytime left. Let's go to Kishkinda now, and you will start fighting now with Vali. Call him out and fight with him. As you fight with him, I will stand with Lakshman behind the tree. And at the right opportune moment, I will shoot him. So Sugriva thought, all right, I will do it. Now this is a very important part. Our acharyas tell us, when Sugriva thought he could fight with Vali, his first fight, this fight, he entered with the consciousness that I will be as strong as him, and I will keep him at bay until Lord Ram can shoot the arrow. That's how he was thinking. But there was a mistake. It was a mistake. I'll tell you why in a while. So he started fighting. And after fighting 15 minutes, Vali started beating up Sugriva. because Vali was just too powerful. Now, by the way, when Sugriva reached Kishkinda, he called out, Vali, come out. When Vali heard that, he was enjoying with his women. He was with Ruma, who was the wife of Sugriva. He was with Tara, his own wife. When he heard that, he thought, today I will teach my brother a good lesson. Let me go and beat him properly and come back. And so Vali left. When Vali went there, he saw Sugriva and he said, come brother, you're giving me entertainment today. Come, come. And Sugriva thought, today I have Lord Ram behind me, right? I will fight him. And so he started fighting. Now in the fight, Sugriva realized, Vali is still much more powerful than I am. What happened? And then he kept thinking, when is the arrow coming? Why isn't Lord Ram shooting? And after a while, he thought, I'm just going to die now. And he started running away, and he ran away. And Vali thought, you're such a coward. You call me out and you get beaten. And Vali went back. Sugriva went to Lord Ram and he was very upset. He said, Lord Ram, if you really didn't want to kill him, just tell me. Why must you make me get beaten up and then come here? Just tell me that you don't want to do it. At least I'll accept. But don't let me be beaten up like this. And Lord Ram told him something very nice. Lord was very cool. Lord told him, before you left, you forgot to take the blessings. You forgot to take my blessings. It's a very important point. He left thinking that Lord Ram is on my side. I'm just going to go and fight. But he thought he had the prowess to fight. But he never actually took the blessings of the Lord. He did not. And another thing that Lord Ram said is very important. Lord Ram said, as you and Vali were fighting, frankly, I could not distinguish between both of you. Not only because you look like the same, you're very close looking, but actually if you look deeper, what is your motive for fighting with each other? What is the motive actually? Is the motive really to take the kingdom? Or is there some element of envy in your heart against your brother? This is a very important point because he could not see the difference. This is the same thing in Dwarka. They have this story, When Krishna was having prasadam with Rukmini Mata, he stood up and then he sat down. So Rukmini Mata said, why did you stand up? My devotee was in trouble on earth. Dog was coming and I need to go and save him. Then Rukmini Mata said, why did you sit down and continue eating? Because instead of calling for me for help and seeking my protection, he took a brick and he wanted to throw it at the dog. So Rukmini Mata said, what's the problem with that? And Krishna calmly said, when he picked up the brick, I could not tell who is the dog and who is the devotee. Because they became the same. The same point here Lord Ram is bringing. When I saw both of you fighting, what was the difference? The consciousness was still based on competition and envy. So then Sugriva understood. You know what he did? Sugriva went and fell at the lotus feet of Lakshman. Why Lakshman? Because Lakshman is Adi Guru Balaramji. He is Balaramji. And he is the originator of all spiritual masters. And he took the blessings of Lakshman, took the blessings of the Lord, because through Guru, you will get Krishna, Lord Ram. Then Lakshman became very happy with him. And Lakshman took his garland and put it on him. Now when Sugriva went with the garland and started fighting, it was easier to see who was Sugriva and who was Vali. But you see the point? That at every step of our spiritual life and activity, if we don't take the blessings of the devotees and don't take the blessings of the Lord, it's very easy for that activity to be consumed by either sense gratification or envy. And there is no distinction then between us and the materialist. You see the point, right? It's a very important point. And so finally, the second round of fighting began. But before that, Sugriva went to see Vali and shouted, Vali, come out, I'm ready to fight you. And Vali said, this rascal today, I'm going to beat him now to his death. Just before Vali is going to leave, Tara, his wife, said, stop, my lord, stop. Think about it. Something is suspicious here. You beat your brother to a pulp. He's coming out even more ready to fight. Who does that? Unless there's somebody behind him. Rumors are going around that actually there is a powerful king known as Ram and Lakshman. They are inconceivably powerful. In Ramayana, they are inconceivably powerful. And if they are supporting him, you are in trouble. And then Tara said, please do not hanker for this position. Why don't you make peace with your brother? Do not be envious and angry with him anymore. Drop it, my lord. But Ramayana tells us that like a bird that is going and like a bird that is so attracted to fire it cannot stop. In the same way, Vali could not stop his impending death. He just said, "You don't know anything, Tara. This time I will put him in his place." And as for Ram and Lakshman, they are very powerful people and very noble. They will not interfere because this is not their fight. And they are Kshatriyas, so they will not do it. Let me go. And so he went. And when he went out, Sugriva started fighting. And Lord Ram watched. And when Sugriva thought he can't take it, he put up his hand because he said, "Now I'm going to die." And at that point of time, Lord Ram shot an arrow so powerful that it went in between Sugriva and Vali. Because they were so close, but it went through them in a split second, faster than sound and even light, Ramayana tells us. That is the arrow of the Lord. And the arrow of the Lord always finds its target. Ramban always finds its target. And it went deep into the chest of Vali. Vali fell, didn't die. Because Vali wore a celestial necklace that was given to him by his father Indra. And Indra gave him the boon that you will only die when you yourself take off that necklace. That was the boon to Vali. That's how powerful he was. When he fell, he became very upset because he saw Lord Ram and Lakshman walking to him. And he started criticizing Lord Ram. He said, "Lord Ram, I thought you were Kshatriya, but today I know that you are lower than a Shudra. You are like a well which is covered by weeds. You are a vile wretch. You have broken all laws of Kshatriya spirit, and you have hit someone in a fight which is not meant for you to interfere. How can people think this way? I was confident that you would be a noble man, but today you have proven that you are not noble." And Lord Ram then replied to him, "You as a monkey have shown me one thing, that your consciousness is still that of an animal. You do not understand the laws of morality. You don't." And now Lord Ram will tell him. Lord Ram told him that this entire region geographically, the monkeys, the birds, the plants, the human beings, they are all under the jurisdiction of the Ishwaku dynasty. And I am the king of the Ishwaku dynasty. Therefore, I have right and dominion over anyone who is harming anyone. So please remember that first, Vali. My second point that is very important. You speak of so much moral high ground, but you took another man's wife who was not meant for you on the basis of your envy for your brother. And you decided to take it, keep it, and throw away the person to whom was actually supposed to be. You took Ruma, and she was the chaste wife of Sugriva, and you took her away. And for that sin alone, nobody has the right to live. And as a king, you should have been exemplary, but you did not. And the third reason why I shot the arrow was because you have behaved out of envy against your brother. You never realized in your heart, you never found cause to realize in your heart that your brother would never have kept this cave sealed to hide you there. So many years your brother was a loyal friend, and you never gave him the benefit of the doubt. This is a very important part of devotees. Devotees must always have benefit of the doubt whenever we relate with devotees. We cannot immediately think in a conspiracy way, "Oh, the devotee behaved this way because he's envious of me." That means you think if you think the world is envious of you, then you are very proud of who you are. Think about it, isn't it? If you think everybody is envious of me, that means you really think very highly of yourself, isn't it? But if you think I'm no one, why would you think someone should be envious of you? Because I'm nobody. So that's what Lord Ram was telling Vali. You thought you were so great that you thought Sugriva was envious of you, when he was not. You see the point? So you see how subtle envy is. We don't even know sometimes that we are envious. And then we think, why am I not progressing in Krishna consciousness? How can we, if we are envious like that? So now, last point that Lord Ram brought up. And finally he said, by the way, there's a Kshatriya code. It is an accepted practice. A Kshatriya can release arrows at any kind of animal in the forest, even intentionally or unintentionally. And therefore, based on these 5 reasons, you deserve to be killed. And I, as the king, have dispensed justice. This is Lord Ram. This is Lord Ram. What did Vali say? Vali said something very nice. When Vali heard all this, his heart changed. He accepted and repented. And he said that because of my association with you today, and because of you standing in front of me with Lakshman and speaking to me, I have orally received, not oral, but orally received what you have told me today. And therefore it has cleansed my heart. Cheto dharpana marjanam. It has cleansed my heart. And thank you, my Lord, for doing that. Now he turned to Angada, his son, and said, Lord Ram, please give Angada your protection. Take care of him. And Lord Ram promised that he would take care of Angada. And he entrusted him to Sugriva, his uncle. Vali then sought forgiveness from his brother, Sugriva, and told him, my dear brother, I have wronged you. For so long, I did not admit to myself that I was envious of you. And I took your wife when it was not the right thing to do. Please forgive me at the hour of my death. And saying that in that way, he took out his celestial necklace. And then he gave one very nice advice to Angada, which is very nice. He said, always be a servant to Sugriva, and always take the shelter of Lord Ram. Always act with due consideration and accept the dualities of pleasure and misery with an equipoise mind. In this way, avoid envy. In this way, avoid envy, attachment and hatred, and you will always be peaceful. What a nice, beautiful advice that Vali gave to his son. So you see, by just associating with Lord Ram at that moment, how much of Vali's consciousness changed, and how much Sugriva's consciousness also changed. And so Vali passed on. Now he left his body in great glory. And Lord Ram personally saw to the funeral rites by instructing Sugriva to do it properly. This is the nobility of Lord Ram. When Lord Ram killed Ravana, he was not ecstatic and threw a party. No, he was aggrieved that such a potentially great person could not understand it. Remember that famous point Vibhishana asked after Lord Ram had crowned, after he had crowned, who did he crown in Lanka? Vibhishana, yes. After he had crowned Vibhishana in Lanka, right? Lakshman had asked him, you are so merciful, you did not take Lanka. What would have happened if Ravana had surrendered to you? And he said, I would have made him king of Ayodhya. I would have made him the king of Ayodhya. So you can see how Lord Ram is completely free of envy. It doesn't matter who it is. If you're great, then it is our duty to serve you. If you're not, it is also our duty to serve you. So amazing. But the story has a little bit more. Sugriva now promised Lord Ram that I will become king and I will help. So Lord Ram said, rainy season coming, 4 months, I will stay in the cave. Monsoon is not a good time to look for Mother Sita because you can't track her. So you go and settle down in your kingdom. 4 months later, you come and see me. 4 months later, Sugriva didn't come back. And so Lakshman went there. And to his surprise, Sugriva was enjoying like anything. He was not enjoying just Ruma. He had taken Tara for his wife. The exact thing his brother did, which he found very obnoxious, he had done. Do you know why he had done that? Because he had meditated so much on his brother for so long that he absorbed that attitude of envy. That's why if you're envious of someone and you meditate on them very long, you're not going to go back home to Godhead. You're going to become just like them. Just like them. And therefore, we have to be very careful about the power of envy. Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki Jai. Of course, when Lord Lakshman threatened to kill Sugriva and decimate his army, Sugriva came to his senses. And then he decided that what he did was wrong. And so he came with his army, he repented, and he became a great devotee who would serve the Lord in his purpose. Questions, comments, realization? Sudhir Prabhu.
Something is haunting me. So why did Lord Ram had to hide and then shoot the arrows?
Because by Kshatriya code, if he was to stand in front of Vali, Vali wouldn't fight Sugriva. and Vali would fight Lord Ram. Lord Ram did not want to engage with Vali. Lord Ram felt that let the two of them fight, and I will stand where I'm supposed to stand. He's allowed in Kshatriya code to do that. That's the fifth reason that he quotes, and that's what he did. Any other points? Yes, Prabhu.
Why did he hide in the cave during the monsoon season?
He didn't hide. It was heavy rain. They didn't have good umbrellas. And he didn't want to go and find Sita Mata in his raincoat. And it was very difficult. The reason was it was difficult to track for Sita. And the monkey army would be able to track only after the monsoon season. So Lord Ram meditated deeply on Sita Mata in a cave. And there he sat with Lakshman and he remembered intensely Sita Mata. And when it finished, he came out and he was ready to fight Ravana. Is that okay? Nice. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, in this property it is mentioned that generally
Okay.
sorry, in this property it is mentioned generally it has something has to be common to the enemies, right? So it is different episode too from Srimad Bhagavatam where Daksha gets envious of Lord Shiva.
Yes.
Right? And in that, in one of the verse it is mentioned, third chapter actually, where it is mentioned that Daksha was envious, a materialistic person becomes envious of the spiritual opulence of Lord Shiva.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, how do you understand, bro? Because how can a materialistic person become first of all, what is spiritual opulence? And how can a materialistic person, because it is hard, because materialistic person becomes attached to the materialistic qualities, right? He has car, he has whatever, you know. But Shiva was not having anything.
Yes.
Even the ornaments were of.
Yeah.
So how do you understand that?
Very nice point. Shiva was not having anything material because he was like a mendicant, but he had something that Daksha didn't have. He was more respected across the three worlds as a spiritual personality than Daksha. And Daksha could not take that. Materialistic people do get envious even of spiritual personalities if they find that the spiritual personalities have more name and fame. Because name and fame is what they attracted to. And sometimes materialistic people take up the guise of spiritual nature because they like the name and fame that comes with it. But they're not really interested in spiritual life. They like the idea that so many people are following them. They like the idea that they are very powerful and they can move their followers. Materialistic people cannot move followers like spiritual people. They're actually very powerful. In cults, people have told followers to die and they have died together with them. Materialistic man cannot do that with people. His family will say, you die, give me the money, but I'm not going to die with you. But so-called spiritualists can make people die. People can jump down for supposedly spiritual people. So the materialistic people in this world are also heavily involved in so-called spiritual activities. And Daksha was of that category. Of that category. And don't forget another thing, Prabhu. Daksha was also a Prajapati. Though he was materialistic in nature, he could understand the goal of life and he could understand the purpose and the greatness of spiritual life. And that is why he was actually very envious of Lord Shiva. But even if we understand the purpose of spiritual life, if we don't take it up, then it is of no value. And it ultimately destroyed Daksha. And it ultimately freed Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva was not attached to it, but Daksha was. So that's why Prabhupada says in our purport, even in devotional service, we can become very envious of each other. We are supposed to be renounced, detached, equipoised. We all know nothing belongs to us, but we can become very envious of each other. We can. Because of this polluted aim of life. Polluted aim of life. Is that helpful, Prabhu? It's a good question. Yes?
If Ravana surrendered, right, how could he trust Ravana to be the king of Ayodhya?
He could trust him because if Ravana had surrendered, Lord Ram would have given him the mercy and the purification for him to change his consciousness as he did for Bali. But because there was no surrender from Ravana, only at the point when he was leaving the world, then he became surrendered. So Lord Ram did not give him the kingdom because he had to vanquish him. So anybody can surrender to Lord Ram, but the surrender must be of practical surrender. Someone must really surrender. Then the person will change. When we cannot change ourselves, Prabhu. We can try, and we should try. But ultimately the mercy of the Lord is needed. And just like Bali changed his consciousness at the end because of the mercy of Lord Ram, in the same way, if Ravana had just been a little bit more humble, and before the battle started, how many chances Ravana had to surrender? It's not like Lord Ram said, no, I just want to have this fight. Forget about principles of reconciliation, nothing. No, he said no so many times, but he never. And that is the problem here. Okay? Nam Sakendra Prabhu, Gaur Bhavani Mataji. Prabhu, I want to thank you first. Before we all sing and then we all look around and everybody is looking for taking darshan. Are we taking darshan after this?
Yes.
Okay.
I have arranged lamp for everybody.
Jai.
So when
Wonderful.
Kirtan is going on,
Yes.
everybody can come in a very orderly manner.
Sure.
You
Please,
can
sir.
come, offer the tea lamp and come out, and then by the time the Kirtan will be done,
Sure.
and we will serve prasadam.
That's nice. So remember, in an orderly manner. That's the key word. Remember, the Riot Act was founded in India. And anywhere there are more than 3 Indians, according to the Riot Act, it becomes a riot. So we are all very much in the riot. So slowly we wake up, slowly we come back. I'm going to do soft, sweet kirtan, so nobody becomes too ecstatic and become riotous also. Okay? So that's how we will do it. We will do
Prabhuji,
it.
one question actually. Didn't got
Oh,
the chance.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you talked very beautifully about this lecture about the just one word envy. And
Yes.
we know there are lots of sins. Like you talked about pride, you talked
Yes.
about anger.
Yes.
So like this, obviously in our whole Bhagavatam and all the textures like Gita, Rama and Mahabharata, there will be lots of examples which you beautifully said that why Krishna stood up and why exactly he
Yes.
stood down. Like there are beautiful examples and
Yes.
it's nice to hear actually. Like that, if you can have some kind of a lecture series to talk about these ones relating to the stories.
Oh, you mean as in these kind of stories that, there's so many actually. You're right. You're
So
right.
if you can have, obviously you have your YouTube channel sometime.
Yeah, no, I think it's nice if we could do that. Maybe we can work something out too, since we're starting the year.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll come back to you. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so,
Prabhu.
when we will be serving prasad, because few people have come for the first time. So, hand washing area is here, and the leftover plate is also here. So that is the last thing. I request everybody, let us thank Devki Prabhu, came all the way. Govind, Gopal, where is Gopal? And then Arjun is there, Govind is also there. And there are many people who have come for the first time to our place. I thank everybody.
Jai.
But before that, let us thank Devkinandan Prabhu by very loudly chanting. Perhaps in his life, for the first time, he might have kept his harmonium's cover on top of it.
Somebody else has put through.
Oh, it's not there, is it? Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's too much of squeeze everywhere.
No, but actually everyone looks very peaceful. Prabhu. Nobody has fainted yet. Everyone looks alright.
Comfortable.
There
Yeah.
are few dropouts.
But you see, that's the thing. Finally, Lord Ram also arranges who can come and take darshan, isn't it? We may wish, we may intend, but he must super intend. So, thank you, Prabhu.
And as Devki Prabhu has already said, tomorrow again the main program in center. This is a Senkang satellite program,
Yeah,
but
and-
main program will be in center. It's a lot of people.
And the deities are coming there, so you have 2 chances to take darshan of them, right? Your mind will tell you today I've taken, tomorrow I don't have to. Don't do that. Don't listen to the mind, right? Ignore the mind. You please come again tomorrow. What do you lose? You again take darshan. You offer lambs again. It is so wonderful. So nothing to lose. Thank you.
I also thank those Mataji, they get cooking today.
Jai.
This was too many people. I don't know everybody's name, but Sneha Mataji, Priya Mataji, or Ram Mataji, Sapna Mataji, us thank them by loudly chanting.
Haribol, 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 Haribol. Thank you.
So Shruti will be helping
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai 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 Jai Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Gurudeva ki Jai, Ananta Guru Vaishnavrinda ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
So as usual, we will be serving prasad. So the plates will come. You all can take your position. Can get inside the room also. Further inside the room also. Those who are able-bodied, they can.